We got to get to Steve and the DVD he received in the mail.
Jesus.
Steve, I think it's just a matter of him getting... Steve's like an air traffic controller. You know how it is with those guys? They work. They're under so much pressure and stress. It's the same thing every day, high pressure. They're getting the same information. And occasionally they get what's called burnout.
Yeah.
And you know what happens? Planes hit each other. That's what happens.
Just carnage and fiery wreckage everywhere.
But with you, you just start... You can't distinguish between fact and fiction anymore.
Right.
Between the real and the fake. And he gives us these things that are supposed to be these video clips on the internet that are real. And we watch them, and Opie just looks and goes, "Oh, my God, this is so fake." Like, before it even happened.
And you gave me a copy to bring home with me. He was all excited.
I should just
do the setup, the premise.
The premise of this whole thing is I got an email from somebody who had seen a movie called Delusions in Modern Primitivism on the Sundance Channel.
Gunga.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't even get it out right. And it was a movie, or a 17-minute documentary, quote-unquote, about a guy who had gotten so tired of his piercings and tattoos that he wanted to take the next step in body modification. Now, I've seen all kinds of body modification. I've seen people putting silicone horns on their heads. I've seen people slicing open their tongues.
Seen the rings? People get rings, and they slice their forearms, like up top, on the top, and then slide these rings underneath the skin. So they have what amounts to rings under their skin. Yeah. It looks reptilian almost.
Yeah. There's guys that tattoo their faces to look like reptiles and snakes and lizards. People just sawing off fingers because it looks cool, and it's just body modification.
Fangs,
so I've seen
permanent fangs,
sawing down their teeth. So
the big rings in the ears that you could almost put your arms through.
Yep. And so I've seen all kinds of extreme stuff. So this email that I got was describing how this guy's next step in body modification was he wanted to get a gunshot wound.
All right.
So, and in the email was the director's email address. It wasn't the director that emailed me. It was just some guy who had seen it and said, email the director. Here's his address. So I said, oh, wow, that sounds pretty cool. So I emailed the guy. I said, a fan told us about your documentary. I'd really want to see it. Do you think you can send us a copy? Here's my number if you want to talk to me about it. Talk to the guy, and I'm trying to recall the conversation in my head as to what I actually said, about the movie or what we discussed. I don't think a whole lot was discussed other than send it here. I really want to see it. So I saw it last night, and I handed Opie a copy of the 17-minute DVD, and it is shot documentary style, and it chronicles this young guy named Jerome in the suburban Texas.
Could you get us just the audio of the piece you showed us?
Sure.
Yeah. We have to play this on the air.
It's it amounts to him sitting in a chair, with sandbags behind him. His pal, is it a friend of his, or is this somebody that does this?
Somebody that does this, slash a friend of his.
Now this is in a garage type atmosphere. It looks like the set of American Chopper. He opens up one of the big red stand-up toolboxes, and in there are various pistols and knives and whatnot. I guess that he does his body modification with. Pulls out a pistol. You really don't get a good look at any bullets, I'm thinking, now either.
Well, previously in the thing, he shows him loading it, taking out a real .38 special bullet, putting it in the chamber, and cocking it.
Well, and then he's sitting the guy down. The guy's obviously nervous. He's got a towel over his shoulder. Sits in the chair. The guy's explaining to him what's going to happen. And he goes, I'm going to shoot you on the count of 3. So the guy goes, give me a minute. He's sitting in the chair. Guy cocks the gun. Goes 1, boom,
bam!
And just shoots the gun on 1. At which point the guy in the chair goes, fuck! Oh, he starts going, oh. He stands up. Now the towel that's over his arm is covering any bit of wound or anything, but you do see some blood coming down. And then the guy's still cursing. The garage door opens up to reveal an ambulance that's just waiting there, I guess, for this to happen. who was it, Ben, that brought up the fact that goes, look at the ambulance, looks like it's from 1970s. It was like the movie Mother Jugs and Speed. Ever seen that one?
No, but
the ambulance or Buzz or
the Cannonball Run ambulance.
I
Cannonball Run.
No, Anthony, I've not seen that movie.
That was Bill Cosby and Raquel Welch, I believe, was in that one.
Of course it was.
And I was a gaffer on that movie back in 1972.
You and some schmuck from Indiana saw the movie. Congratulations for showing your intelligence to The ambulance just looked old.
The guy when the garage door opens up, it's a big double.
Because now they got to get
door.
the guy to the hospital immediately, and he's walking and falling down,
But
down.
they didn't even put oxygen on.
They did nothing.
They did nothing. The guy was standing like Ned from Pulp Fiction.
Right. The garage door opens, and then the guy who's manning the ambulance is having a cigarette.
He's sitting there
because that's the perfect time to have a cigarette.
The second the garage door opens, now obviously they heard a gunshot. Right. It happened.
Sure.
It happened. They're outside the garage door.
Uh-huh.
The garage door opens. After hearing a gunshot, the guy that's in the ambulance is standing against the ambulance, 1 foot kicked up on the side of it, leaning against it, smoking a cigarette. Now, wouldn't he know if he heard the shot that now is go time? But he's just waiting. The door opens. He's like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay, we're ready.
The guy that shot now, supposedly shot, rubs alongside of this filthy ambulance and leaves a blood stain on the side.
Like it's WWE.
Yeah, and there's no stretcher, there's no oxygen, there's no nothing.
Well, he's a
no
tough guy.
Compresses. They just throw him in the van.
The guy got in the passenger seat.
And he didn't even move his map book.
Right. And he takes off.
In hindsight, these are all very excellent points.
Of course they are, Steve.
I'm having a very hard time disputing anything.
This is the biggest bunch of shit.
Never mind.
And and after this, and of course it would have helped if I had actually done a tiny bit of research, because when I went to the actual website for the film and the director, a few clicks past the main page was a whole cast list of this film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with characters and actors' names, and I'm looking at this.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, damn it.
Well, Adam from New Jersey wants to defend you. Adam?
Yeah, man, this thing's real as hell.
Oh, sure it is.
It goes in like documentary style, and they're like, oh, you see the part where the guy's in the car just talking about, hey, I think I want to do it. I did the piercings, I did the tattoo, but, gunshot wound's the next thing, man, the next big...
Yeah, we know, but it's all fake.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, dude, Blair Bitch Project, that was fake, too, dude.
Dude, how do you say this is real?
Because I'm an idiot.
Okay.
That was a great answer.
The thing that got me was that ambulance guy.
Yeah.
Because the second, boom, you hear the bang from outside that door, you would think they'd be all ready to go. When the door opened, it was hysterical. You know how you'd stand outside a bar talking to your friends, 1 foot against your vehicle, and you're kind of smoking? It looked like he didn't even budge. Heard the gunshot, I'm going to finish up this Camel. Didn't budge.
Jeremy, New Jersey, what's up?
How you doing, boys?
All right.
I got to agree with Steve. I mean, I believe that it's fake now, but up until this morning and all your points, I thought it was 100% real. I saw it years ago at like 3 in the morning.
Really?
It's on Showtime. You're not even thinking of it as a fake. It's just sandwiched between a couple other little documentaries.
Yeah, they played his filler on Showtime a lot, is what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Yeah, but don't you realize that it's against the law? You can't get a license tattooing to shoot somebody.
Right. Here's how I'll defend myself. The reality is I get hundreds and hundreds of these reality type videos a week, and I'm not saying that it was right that I fell for this, but I get between the Kate Moss video, the helicopter crash videos, the gang the gang shooting videos that I get. You get a little desensitized. And you
occasionally
get
a couple. They slip through the cracks.
A couple fake ones slip through, and this one got me. One got me.
We got his.
The ambulance was spelled with a P.
Ambulance.
Let's say hi to Chris on Long Island. Chris.
What's up, boys?
Hey,
man.
Chris.
Congratulations for 1 year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Listen, Anthony, I just wanted to let you know you're not the only one who saw Mother Jugs and Speed.
Oh, really?
A lot of guys who are in public safety are big fans of that movie. It's a big cult classic.
It is a cult classic, that movie.
Yeah, Harvey Keitel.
Yeah, just like Caddyshack.
Harvey Keitel.
Yeah, exactly.
Larry Hagman was in that. Larry Hagman does a scene in that movie that just makes everybody in my profession cringe. He's boning an unconscious girl in the back of the ambulance on the way to the hospital.
It's a funny movie.
Just makes us cringe, I swear to God.
All right.
What's it called?
That's all I got to say. Nothing
Mother
funny.
Jugs
I'll
and
punch it
Speed.
Mother
Jugs and Speed.
Jugs and Speed.
That's their names.
Good movie. Good movie. You'll love it.
Thank you, Chris. Hey, know what we could do right off the bat? We got the delusions in modern primitivism or whatever.
What the hell is that?
What is that?
Primitivism.
Acknowledged.
Remember the guy that got shot that we were talking about yesterday?
Oh, right.
You want to explain this to Adam? Because
I wasn't here.
The lie?
Well, Steve was buying this, and, Steve runs a very successful website, and he got bamboozled. And we had to point it out to Steve that he got bamboozled.
Steve's been desensitized. I like thinking of Steve in this instance like an air traffic controller. He's just crazy. He's a lot of things whizzing by the radar screen every day, and there he is. And it's very hard for him to distinguish what's real and what's fake anymore.
Yeah, sometimes you get hit with so much of this stimulus in the form of death videos. This morning I was watching a polar bear attack video, an anaconda eating a deer or a lion video, and after a while you see so much of it, and a lot of it is real, that every once in a while something like this slips through.
It slips through the cracks, and you need people that kind of are on the outside looking in to tell you, Steve, that's full of shit.
Yeah.
It is not real. It is fake.
Right.
You've been bamboozled.
As was the case. And I don't think the guy was trying to bamboozle me.
No.
I just think I didn't pay attention and I ran with it.
You were hoping it was real. Sometimes you watch something and you go, I want it to be real so much that I'm just going to say it is. That's how urban legends get started. You never hear a dull, boring urban legend. They're always like exciting, fun, have a weird twist to them. And that's why people continue to tell them. Because you want it to be real.
Are you explaining our meeting with A&A still?
Exactly. You want it to be real, but it's just myth.
I thought you moved on from that.
It's urban legend.
We got a great show for you guys. It's Mythbusters meets Jackass.
No, they're changing the format around a little bit, and they're very excited to get an airable pilot out there. Yes, sure they are. Stop it.
Anyways, you want to explain to Adam?
Yeah, this video clip that turns up is this documentary of this guy who's into body art, tats, and piercings and stuff. And apparently he got bored with that whole thing. It wasn't, I guess, showing enough. So he decides he's going to get himself shot in the shoulder, and that the bullet scar, the wound, will be part of his body art. So he sits in a chair, has sandbags behind him, gets some guy. It's in this garage type atmosphere. It looks like American Chopper
or Pimp My Ride,
the Pimp My Ride type garage, with this guy that's wearing sort of an apron and surgical gloves. He opens up one of those snap-on big toolboxes in this garage thing, and there's guns and knives and stuff, I guess, for his craft.
Screwdrivers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And wrenches.
Pulls out a .38, loads it up, tells the guy that he's going to count to 3. The guy goes, "Oh, give me a minute, give me a minute." He's like nervous in the chair. Has a towel slung over his left shoulder. Now, there's a towel there, so you can't really see his shoulder very well. Then the guy points the gun. He goes, 1, boom, and shoots after 1. And then you see some blood. The guy gets up. His arm is all stiff, and he starts cursing. Oh, fuck. Screaming.
Falling down as he tries to walk.
Yeah, he's falling down. Some guy's trying to help him up. Then the garage door opens. And here's where it just got completely ridiculous.
And this is where we started openly mocking Steve.
Yeah, that he could possibly think this is real. The garage door opens. There's an ambulance there. Now, if you were doing something like this, it could be possible that you would have an ambulance on call waiting to take the guy to the hospital, because that was the plan. Shoot him, get him to the hospital. So the ambulance is waiting, but this garage door opens up. This ambulance was like a 1974 Ford Econoline van. I said yesterday, it looks like it was from Mother Jugs and Speed. Adam remembers that movie.
Wait, how do you remember that movie?
Mother Jugs
it's an old classic.
Bill Cosby?
It's an old classic.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And then the ambulance, one of the workers, one of the guys, the medics, is standing, leaning against the ambulance, 1 foot up, like on the ambulance, leaning, smoking a cigarette. Now, we start thinking, he heard the shot. He had to have heard the shot. Boom. All right, it's go time. It's go time. The garage door opens. He's just puffing a cigarette. It wasn't even like, wow, there it is, the gun. We got a wounded guy. So they kind of drag him toward the ambulance. his wound is now rubbing up against the side of the ambulance, leaving this big blood stain.
Oh, God.
And they don't have anything prepared for him, the ambulance crew. They throw him in like they're driving him to the deli.
He got in the passenger seat.
They just get in. No prep from the medics or anything. They take off. At which point they go back to the guy who shot him, who was just standing there laughing, going, "Wow, I can't believe that. That was great." And Opie just goes, "This is such bullshit," and we start laughing and mocking Steve.
So we got the audio. Finally.
They sold that show to A&E, I heard.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to do it every week.
Jackass with lawsuits, like we say.
See?
All right, here we go. So here's the audio from that scene.
If you need me to sign something or whatever, hearing damage, I'm not, whatever.
No, I'm not concerned about that at all. It's not.
He's not concerned about having this guy sign something. He's about to shoot the guy, and the guy that's going to be shot says, "I'll sign whatever you need me to sign." And the guy goes, "No, I'm not really concerned about that."
Not concerned about that?
Well, maybe the police would be a little concerned about that.
Yeah, because I don't think you can ask someone's permission to shoot them, or have somebody ask you, "Hey, would you shoot me?" and just be fine. I don't think just because somebody asked that it's still legal to shoot somebody.
No, it's attempted murder.
Yeah, it tends to be a crime.
I think it's a crime.
It's a felony.
that transcends the guy's permission. It's not like you took Mom's car. Is Mom going to press charges? If she doesn't, you go home.
It's like a permission slip from school.
Yeah, this is a crime.
Falls under the assisted suicide thing, I think.
You're not allowed.
All right, here we go.
I'm concerned about that at all. It's not going to make a difference whether or not we sign something or not, because I'm shooting you. I'm shooting you with a gun. Yeah. And right now, that's not recognized as an art form. But that's going to change.
That's going to change. Do you want me to put these on right now?
You can just hold on.
Steve.
As you listen to this,
as I'm listening to this,
know that Steve bought this as real.
This is
the
porno acting is better than this.
The acting's bad. I'm going to shoot you.
This is going to be recognized as an art form.
Art form.
That's going to change.
Guess what? It's an art form that's being practiced all over America every day.
Rachel.
It's called the hood.
Right.
Again, look at us stealing from the black man.
Do you want me to put these on right now?
You can just hold on to them for a moment. And we're going to put the towel around you like this.
Is there going to be a lot of bleeding right away? Or?
No, there shouldn't be. The exit wound is going to be a little bit bloody, but not too bad.
Steve. Jesus.
I know.
I can't even look at you.
Thank you.
Loading the gun.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put our gear on. Go ahead and put your eye protection on.
Well, at least they're being safe. Eye protection.
I'm going to put your arm up like that. There. That's good. And I just want you to relax. Okay? This will be over very quickly, but take a few breaths. Get relaxed. You okay?
Yeah.
All right? Relax. Why don't you go ahead and pick your elbow up? There you go. Just like that.
There you go.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the count of 3. Okay? All right?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Ready?
Give me a second.
Okay. Ready? 1. You're all right. You're all right. It's okay. It's okay. Look at me. Listen to me. You're all right. You're okay. God damn it. You're going to be okay. You're okay, though. You're okay. Let's go. We're going to get you out. We're going to get you out. Okay?
How do you feel, Jerome? How do you feel, son? How do you feel?
Probably need a bit. God damn.
What's up, folks? What are you doing? Great.
He asked him what's up.
Why can't you just paint?
You're going to be okay.
When you can, man. When you can.
And there, you hear the ambulance drive off.
So the towel's actually over, so you can't see the dye pack, or how does that work?
Yeah, you can't see the dye pack. You
Exactly.
can't see, but something blew a chunk of meat onto the back of the sandbags that were behind him.
He said the exit wound is going to be a little bloody, and the sandbags that were behind him had this big splatter of blood, like in the movies, and it just doesn't happen like that. It really doesn't.
I don't know. I've never seen someone actually get shot. So.
I saw someone get shot right in the arm. Same place that this guy got shot.
Ben almost got shot this morning.
It was a .22, but it wasn't the exit wound that bled. It was the entrance wound. This kid got shot. His father shot him out in the desert. Okay, we were hanging out shooting guns, and this guy had this gun. It was this old 6-shooter, and you had to quarter cock it to load it so you could turn the cylinder. No safeties at all. The firing pin's right on the hammer. The old style. And he loads it up, brings the barrel up, and pop, goes off. And his 9-year-old son is standing right in front of him. Boom, goes right in his shoulder, right out the back. The kid's standing there, and I'm just watching the whole thing. And it looked like a fountain, like a water fountain. Exactly like a water fountain. It shoots water in a little arc of blood came right out of his shoulder. He turned completely white. Just kind of made a sound and dropped right to his knees and flat on his face. And I was like, holy shit, that guy's dead. Because it looked like it hit him in the heart. It hit him in the shoulder, right next to like the shoulder-chest kind of area. Went right through.
And there was no exit wound or anything?
There was an exit wound, but no blood came out of it.
How's that possible?
I don't know. Whatever blood vessel it hit going in was the one that really sprung the leak.
Artery.
And, and he just, boom, went down. And then we're in the middle of the Mojave Desert. We were in between Barstow, California, and Needles, Arizona. 50 miles in off the highway. So, had to load him up in the pickup truck with ice packed on the wound and drive him out. And then we had, because it's a gunshot wound, we had the cops come to check out the scene. And they showed up with guns drawn like a SWAT team, because they're like, who the fuck was this, the Manson family hanging out in the Mojave shooting each other? It's like we had a shooting in the middle of the Mojave Desert, and there's people out there, like, armed to the teeth, too. We were just, like, I don't know, I forgot how old I was, I think 13 about the time. And, I had 2 6 guns, one on each hip. I had like an old Winchester 30-30 on my back.
Chaw tobacco.
We had doom buggies, the big Bowie knives, like just.
I can drive that tanker.
And we did. It was like the Road Warrior. Yeah. We're all kids with guns and dune buggies, and that's what that was my father's idea of a great time, which it was. We would tow these dune buggies out there, and they were the old Volkswagen fiberglass body put on top of them, dune buggies. And we would just drive around shooting anything that moved. Anything that fucking moved out there. I'd be driving, have, like, that kid Charlie that got shot's 9. He's hanging onto the roll bar on the back, just unloading with, like, an AR-15. And his brother is in the passenger seat with a 12-gauge, just popping jackrabbits and just anything that moved. Weehaw! Boom, 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 boom! Just firing, and that was our idea of a good time. While the parents, while the older people that were there, because just using the word parent is ridiculous, just stayed up at the old mining shack, because that's what it was. It was an old turquoise mine. Stayed up there just drinking to the point of passing out, and letting the kids drive and shoot all day long.
That's amazing. Wow.
I couldn't stay up to watch Charlie's Angels.
Thank you, Adam. Yeah. I'm with you.
Oh, it was great.
He tells these stories. I'm like, what?
We'd climb up these, because it's the Mojave Desert. You ever look down from a plane? It's like sand, brush, and mountains. So we'd climb up these mountains and go up to these boulders that had been there, probably perched up there, and watched dinosaurs walk across that valley. And we would push these big boulders down into the canyons. While like some of the guys that we were with were walking down. It was like a Roadrunner cartoon. And you'd hear it coming, like boom, 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 and it would echo, and you'd hear them scream, "Holy shit!" run out of the way. we would take these big. They were old stoves that were there from when old miners were there in the early 1900s, and we would for some reason there was a bunch of spray paint cans all over the place, and we'd spray the spray paint into these ovens until the mist built up, and then throw matches in it, and it would just a flame would shoot out about 8 feet, and one of the kids that were there singed his eyebrows and the front of his hair off all the way to the middle of his head. And he had to walk around like that for like a month.
I built a tree fort once. One time I built a tree fort.
I went to my cousin's house. He got the operation game, and we played for hours.
In Oklahoma, we were more into the flaming arrows.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, we'd get arrows, and we'd put like cloth around the end, tie it around the end.
You learned it on TV.
Dip it in gasoline, and just let them fly. And then chase the arrow and put out the fire that it started. And the best was when we were shooting at a target on the fence, and I shot this flaming arrow, and it nicked the top of the fence and bounced up and stuck in the side of my neighbor's house and starts to catch the edge a little bit on exactly.
Yeah.
Big black mark on the side. I was like trying to wipe it off. It was a bad scene.
Yeah. A friend of mine, remember Randy? He used to play a game with his friends when they were kids. In the neighborhood, they would take a bow and arrow and shoot it straight up in the air as hard as you could pull back, and it would disappear. And they would all scatter because now you can't see. It's coming down somewhere around you, but they couldn't see it, so they don't like, wah! And just run for cover. They were doing this, and they lost track of it. It starts coming down. There was a woman across the street doing her gardening, so she's kneeling on the ground doing her gardening. The arrow came down right in her calf. And just stuck her to the ground.
Come on.
Yeah, as she just starts screaming horribly.
Wow.
Yeah.
We used to take the wiffle ball bats, and
of
you
course.
get bottle rockets
right up there.
With a little hole in the bottom of the bottom of the handle. You put a bottle rocket in there, and it's like a bazooka. Now you can aim it.
Yeah, you do that with wrapping paper tubes also, like a bazooka. Tap the guy on the shoulder, light it up. Have the bottle rocket fight.
Why are we all trying to top his stories?
Sorry. Yeah.
Like, your old man takes you target
top
shooting.
His Wyatt Earp story at 9.
Right. It's one thing to go target shooting with your father or something, or like when I was a kid, I used to blow squirrels off the out of the backyard trees with a pellet gun, but nothing like firing.
This is
just, exactly.
It was like the Road Warrior.
I joined a militia when I was
8. It was definitely Romper Room meets the Road Warrior.
This always happens. You try to top your buddy's stories, but we're not going to top his shit.
It was a hell of a time out there. It was truly the Wild West. Well, a couple of instant feedbacks, of course. Anth, did you pan for gold during the gold rush? And nice story. And then, did you go and report back to General Custer? People assume that I've met people in the 1800s.
Yeah. Well, you tell these stories.
I met Groucho.
He met Groucho.
He was born in the 1800s, but
we're starting to think he's a vampire.
I met Groucho when I was a very little kid, and he was like days away from death.
Groucho was in the Mojave Desert.
No, that was something called a Day at the Races. It was a celebrity event that they wheeled Groucho to, and I got to shake his hand and got an autograph from Groucho Marx, and he died very short time later. I was a little kid, but people seem to interpret this as me hanging out on the set of A Day at the Races.
You know, if Groucho was alive today, he would be about 105.
Yeah.
So at this point, we have to just assume that we don't know how old Anthony is.
Anthony.
Pete Niggity came up with this. It's a quickie.
Ant is a vampire. Lies about his age. It's Nosferatu. From an Anne Rice page. Look out, Opie. It's your blood he'll drain. Bram Stoker's subject. This song is pretty fucking lame.
There you go. Little quickie.
Thanks.
All right, it is Whip 'em Out Wednesday. We'll get into the whole WoW thing in a minute.
Well, the person that accidentally got shot wasn't Lincoln. Motherfuckers.